call to order this meeting of the Villa Park Village Board on June 26th. Clerk Kornicki, please call the roll.
Trustee Aiello?
Here.
Trustee Kazone?
Here.
Trustee Case?
Here.
Trustee Tucker?
Here.
Trustee Wagner?
Here.
President Bolfus?
Here. Let's all please rise for the pledge, and after the pledge, please remain standing for a short prayer, please. I'll lead off. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Trustee Wagner has the prayer, please.
Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion, allow us to grow closer as a group, and nurture the bonds of community. Fill us with your grace, Lord God, as we make decisions that might affect the residents, staff, businesses, surrounding communities, and all those that enter the village of Villa Park. And continue to remind us that all we do here today, all that we accomplish, is for the pursuit of truth, for the greater glory of you, and for the service of humanity. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
The first thing on the agenda is amendments to the agenda. Does any board member have an amendment to the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move on to the next item. It's the recognition of the first responders for the delivery of Margaret Mary Christoph. Chief Rich Gosnick is going to lead this off and take the floor here.
Well, thank you, President Baltheis and Village Board. Back on April 13th, a Thursday night, around 4:15 in the morning, our Engine 82 and Medic 82 responded to a childbirth in the bathtub on the north side of town. So the guys went en route, and some of them are here today. Acting Lieutenant Mike Tenorelli, Eric Blaskovich, David Richardson, Denise Bennett is not here tonight, Andy Phillip, and our part-time paramedic, Brittany Schlipka. Thanks for being here tonight. So anyway, so they go to this call in around 4:15, and then when they got back around 6 o'clock or so, I get an email from Mike Tenorelli, and I'd like to share that with you tonight. Also, Villa Park Police Officer Lukasik, right back there, he was also on the call with us. I want to mention him as well. So let me read this, what he sent me in the morning around 6 a.m. or whatever time it was. It was early, that's all I know. Okay, Chief, this morning, Station 82 dispatched for the female who just delivered a baby in the bathtub on the north side of town. I'm writing you to express how proud I was at the exemplary care my crew gave to the mother and father. Mother and father were found in the bathroom with mom in the tub and dad holding the new baby with the cord still attached. My crew quickly assessed the situation, giving care to both mother and baby, and of course, the dad. It was a proud and also a little embarrassing moment for mom. Eric and Brittany made mom feel comfortable and in great spirits the entire time. Eric and Brittany performed cutting the cord for dad because he didn't want to. Dad and I took care of the dad and a newborn, which both were great. Eric and Brittany did a great job with the mom. They helped her clean up the tub, got her dressed, and packaged her for transport to the hospital. My crew lined the carpet with blankets because we didn't want any possible blood from mom to get on the floors. Well, at time of transport, both mother and baby were both healthy, with baby having repeated APGAR scores of 9. An APGAR score is a score that we do for babies when they're born. 7 to 10 is really good, so 9 is almost excellent. I would like to welcome Margaret Mary to the world at about 6 pounds. Turns out that Margaret Mary was 8'3"? 8'9". 8'9". Delivered in the bathtub.
Big difference.
I would also like to thank Denise and Andy for their help with the blankets, the cot, and movement to the ambulance. I would also like to thank the Villa Park Police Department for trying to keep the other children in the home calm before Grandma and Aunt arrived. This morning, this is Mike's last comment. This morning, once again, showed me how proud I am and the village and department should be of the outstanding personnel and care we give to all of our residents in the village of Villa Park. So Mike, on behalf of me and the crew, thank you guys very much for a great call. So right now, I'd like to bring up Mike Tenorelli. He's going to have a couple comments to say, and then we'll bring up the dad to speak on a couple more comments. Thank you.
Like Chief said, my name is Mike Tenorelli. I'm a firefighter paramedic with Village, acting officer, hopefully one day to be a lieutenant. I give all my credit to my crew. They're the best. What we experienced, this young couple at their best time and probably most embarrassing time, especially for Mom. We were able to look past all that. Like the chief said, we made them feel very comfortable in their own home, took care of both Mom and the newborn child. Eric and Brittany, I can't be any prouder about them. They took care of Mom. They, like I said, probably most embarrassing time for her in her life, being in a bathtub. No clothes, big mess, but they took care of her, got her cleaned up, did everything they needed to do, no questions asked. I couldn't be any prouder being an acting officer of the job that they did. They did the job, not me, and that's why I wanted them to be recognized for the work that they did. And we should be very proud of the crew that we have working for the Village of Villa Park. And, for the parents, thanks.
Okay, now I'll bring up Tom Christoph and Mary if you'd like, and of course Margaret Mary. Come on up.
I will disagree with one thing that they've said. I'm sure I've embarrassed her much more than she's I will echo everything that they've said, everything that was in the email, and everything that's been said in front of you tonight. When it happened, it was a frightening moment of us trying to figure out what to do. Once all the first responders came to the scene, they knew what to do, and they made all of us feel very reassured. They made all of us feel very safe, and so I have nothing but glowing things to say about the first responders that came that morning. Anything from you?
Just thank you to everybody who made me feel comfortable, because, yeah, you're right, it wasn't the most glamorous time for me, but thank you very much. I very much appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is just one example of the wonderful job you gentlemen do. We were just talking earlier before the meeting how they helped my neighbor out who had an incident recently, and she too said you guys are just wonderful. She really appreciates it, so thank you very much. Okay, thank you. We'll move on to the next item. Appointment to the vacancy of Office of Trustee. I'd entertain a motion for the appointment of Dave Ciella for the vacant position of trustee. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Case is first. Second? Trustee Kazal.
Mr. President, I'll second that.
Okay. Roll call vote?
Trustee Wagner,
No.
Trustee Tucker,
No.
Trustee Kazone,
Yes.
Trustee Case,
Yes.
President Bolthus.
You missed one. Did you say hello?
Trustee Aiello. I'm
Yes.
sorry, I didn't see him here.
Yes.
And President Bolthus was a
Yes.
yes. Thank you.
Okay. With that, we have the judge here to swear him in. The questions, comments are at the end of the formal meeting. Okay. He's coming? Come on, Dave.
Where's the judge?
He's in the room over there. He'll be right out.
Here we go.
Here he comes.
Here he is. Yes,
Ready to
sir.
go? Repeat after me. I, David Sisella,
Me too.
do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
trustee of the Village of Willow Park
of trustee of Village of Willow Park
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, sir. All right, thank you very much. And we'll move on to item number 6, appointment and reappointment of boards and commissioners. We have a number of commissions we'd like to appoint and reappoint people to. I'll read the list here. In the Cable Commission, these are reappointments. Al Stash, Louis Sanico, Ciancio, Dennis Keating, a new appointment of Kevin Patrick, the Police Pension Board, Fire Pension Board, William Nolden, he's a reappointment, and appointment to the Planning and Zoning Commission of Dominic Romano is an appointment, and Fire and Police Commission, Kevin Patrick is a new appointment. The Parks and Rec Commission, Jennifer Burns, John Banasek, George Cordova, and Gary Schaefer is a reappointment. Sugar Creek Golf Course, Gary Schaefer is a new appointment to that position. And the Traffic and Safety Commission, Pamela Howell.
Hale.
Haley?
Hale.
Okay. Darren Kling and Kevin Meeker are reappointments. Do I have a motion for the reappointments and appointments to the commissions? Trustee Allo,
So moved.
do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Trustee Case, any questions or comments?
President Poltis?
Yes.
Just a quick question, and I just want to make sure, so all these appointments all meet the requirements of the ordinance, village resident, like registered voter, living within the town within 1 year.
Yes, they do.
Okay, that's all I have, thank you.
Okay. So, roll call vote.
Okay. Trustee Case.
Yes.
Trustee Kazone.
Yes.
Trustee Tucker.
Yes.
Trustee Aiello.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes,
Trustee Silella.
Yes.
President Bolthus.
Yes. Number 7, consider a resolution of the Village of Willow Park, DuPage County, Illinois, in regard to a water system interconnection located on Roosevelt Road. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. There is an interconnection between the Villa Park and Lombard potable water systems that is intended to provide water to either municipality during emergency or other situations where water supply is needed. The two municipalities wish to formalize terms for the use of the interconnection through an intergovernmental agreement. The basic terms are as follows. Number 1, upon mutual consent, each municipality may provide water to the other for emergency purposes for non-consecutive periods not to exceed 24 hours. Number 2, if water is needed for construction purposes for periods greater than 24 hours, a 30-day notice will be required. Number 3, each municipality will operate a valve on its side of the meter to activate the interconnection. Number 4, the requesting agency will be billed for water usage at the wholesale rate charged by the DuPage Water Commission. Number 5, the two municipalities will share in the cost of maintaining the interconnection, including the water meter. Thank you, Your Honor.
Any questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, any questions or comments from the board? Trustee Tucker?
Is this connection actually functioning with water other than the, is it water flowing through it for the village normally that we're making the connection, or is it a closed system except in emergency cases that we need to use the connector between the two?
Thank you, Your Honor. The interconnection has been there for some years. However, neither one of the communities could find an IGA when both communities feel better to have a written record of the operations. But it is there now, and I believe it is turned on right now to serve businesses in Lombard because Lombard is relining or reconstructing their water main. It is not turned on all the time. Obviously, within the legislative procedures before us this evening, that it requires a notice, et cetera. So it is not on all the time. It's only on in emergency or construction purposes. Thank you.
Anyone else? Trustee Kazone?
This is the only interconnection we have, is that correct, Manager Keener?
To my knowledge, yes. No, there's one more? A couple more?
We have also one with Elmhurst as well.
Okay. Why were those put in? And does this just serve that Roosevelt Road location?
No, they're basically, if one community's water supply goes down, they can receive water temporarily for another one.
Oh, okay, for any
It
part of
probably
the
goes
village?
back to the days when we were on wells. Because if a well would go down, how would you supply the village?
Okay, great. All right, thank you.
Anyone else? We have a roll call to move this as a formal.
Okay, Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
Trustee Ayello,
Yes.
Trustee Kazone,
Yes.
Trustee Tucker,
Yes.
Trustee Case,
Yes.
Trustee Salela,
Yes.
President Bolfus.
Yes. Number 8, consider a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving a contract with Denlair Inc. of Mokina, Illinois for the 2017 crack sealing program in the amount of $48,960. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. Public Works staff proposes the completion of approximately 36,000 pounds of asphalt pavement crack sealing on various streets throughout the village as part of the 2017 crack sealing program. Denler Inc. was awarded a contract for the 2016 crack sealing program based on a competitive joint bidding process that also included bids for 2017 and 2018 at the option of the village. Staff recommends approving a contract with Denler Inc. for the 2017 crack sealing program in an amount not to exceed $48,960, based on Denler's bid for 2017 submitted as part of the 2016 competitive joint bidding process. There's $50,000 budgeted for crack sealing in account number 60-50202-299 in the fiscal year 2017-2018 Street Improvement Fund. And Your Honor and Board, if it is approved this evening, we'll post a map on our website which shows where the crack sealing will be conducted. Thank you, Your Honor.
Good. Any comments from the public on this item? Okay. Seeing none, any questions or comments from the board? Trustee Tucker?
Yes. Do we have an ongoing map? You said you had set up for the cracks and seals in 2016. We have a map that's going to be on in 2017 if it gets approved. Do we have one for 2018? Set up? Is there an ongoing one, just like the road map of where we're going for?
It's not as extensive as the roadmap because with crack filling, it's a very fluid process and you drive a street one year and you go, okay, maybe next year it's gonna need crack filling and it might last longer. The other problem is when streets hit a certain point, they get beyond the crack filling. We had a little more of a map, but last year when we switched products, we got so much further with our money that it cleared basically our entire backlog. So this year, we're gonna get close to finishing everything that's in a reasonable state to need crack filling. So next year, there's a chance that we may not have a project at all, or if we do, it might even be smaller, because we've just hit the point where we don't have any roads left that are at the point where they need to be crack filled.
You know, in the past, we've did a grinding and then filling. Last year, I assume this will be the same as we did last year. We just fill up over the top. We're not doing any grinding, but we had all the dust and everything.
Correct. We switched products. Before we used to route out the cracks. Before we did anything that created the big dust issues, a lot of resident concerns because there's dust everywhere, all that kind of stuff. We switched to a product that no longer does that. They just seal right over the top of it. So we no longer have to fill the little gap that's created when it's routed. And that's what's resulted in a significant extension in how far the product's able to reach, as well as we didn't notice as much getting torn up with the plows in the winter, which is also a good thing because, like I said, then you're not ripping out the stuff you just put down with the plows during the winter.
Anyone else from the board? Seeing none, consensus to move this forward.
Trustee Kazone,
Yes.
Trustee Tucker,
Yes.
Trustee Case.
Yes.
Trustee Ayello,
Yes.
Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
Trustee Salela,
Would I get to see it this time?
President Bolfus.
Yes. Item number 9, consider a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving the purchase of a 2017 Ford F-150 XL 4x2 pickup truck through the Suburban Purchasing Cooperative in a total amount not to exceed $29,700. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. The fire department sold their utility vehicle in 2015 and is seeking to replace it. The requested pickup truck would be used for towing, transporting fire investigation and public education supplies, carrying items from fire scenes, and as a station vehicle when a staff car is being serviced. This resolution allows for the purchase of one Ford F-250 XL 4x2 pickup truck in an amount not to exceed $29,700. The purchase is budgeted in Equipment Replacement Fund account number 65-502-02401. Additionally, the Foreign Fire Insurance Board has donated $1,700 for vehicle lettering and a light bar. Thank you, Your Honor.
Any comments from the public on this item? Seeing none, any questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, roll call to move this to consensus to move this to formal.
Trustee Ayello?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Salela?
Yes.
President Bolkus?
Yes. With that, we'll move on to the formal agenda. And we have, at the beginning, public comments on agenda items. That would be anything on number 1, 2, and 3. So, and is it 1, 2, or 3?
It is. No.
All right. Anyone else have any questions? Okay. Do we have any amendments to the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. The consent agenda, I'm just going to read the first couple items. The rest of the items on here, we just went over in the committee of the whole. Item A, bill listing for the week of June 12th and June 19th for a total amount of $375,307.70. B, minutes from the public hearing on June 12th, 2017. C, minutes of the village COW meeting on June 12th, 2017. And D, minutes from the village formal board meeting from June 12th, 2017. And the rest of them, like I said, we already went over. So do I have a motion for the consent agenda?
Mr. President,
Trustee Kazone?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second? Trustee Wagner?
I'll second that motion.
Any questions? Okay, seeing none, roll call vote.
Trustee Ayello?
Yes.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Salela?
Yes.
President Bolkus?
Yes. Item number 4, public comments on non-agenda items.
Would you like to go first? Go for it. I may be a while. If you allow me more, if you allow me more than 3 minutes. Okay, thank you. My name is John Barsati. I reside in Villa Park. This concerns a matter that I discussed or brought to your attention last meeting. I invited you to come out and view the issue. Mr. Case was out there today. I don't know if any of you made it, but I brought it to you, so to speak. And but I want you to understand there are a lot of nuances and facets involved in this whole issue here. And if you come out, please give me a call, and I'll walk you through what's been going. But let's begin now with what I've handed out. You would turn to the first page. I know the colors look good, but let's stay on the first page first. It's black and white, and it's titled Then. Maybe I should have said yesterday. But then was a few years ago when the neighbor was complaining about my downspouts flowing into his property and causing to his foundation, causing his sump pump to play, if you will, causing pressure on his basement, and his sump pump was burning out, and his basement was flooding. Now I have 14 feet between my property line and his foundation, and there's 18 feet with the offset there at another point. The grade, you will notice, up on the property line, the grade is east to the storm sewer. Some tests were performed back when, and it was demonstrated that no water was ever even approached his foundation. As it flowed off my downspouts, and the storm water from my roof flowed off the downspout, the water never reached his foundation. Never even creeped there. Maybe just a little bit over the property line. I have demonstration of that. I can bring you some other photos later. So that was then. The village looked into it. It took several months. You have the letter there. It took several months, but the village concluded that I had the runoff, stormwater runoff off of my property played no part in whatever he was complaining about. Page 2, it's called now number 1. Probably should be called today number 1. What brought the current complaint? Again, same issue, stormwater off my roof running down the downspout, causing, this time, damage to his landscaping. Now this happened, what you see here is on his side. The tree was felled by a storm. Page 2. That tree, as you see it felled by the storm, was a group of 5 scrub trees, as I'm told was called by the Morton Arboretum. I asked them if that had any landscaping value. They said yes, a negative value. The reason why that tree fell is because of so many trees growing in that one spot. The roots never went down into the ground. They all stayed on the surface. There's so many roots there. So that is the landscaping that the homeowner is now complaining that my stormwater has damaged. Let's go to now number 3. He came in, had to come in and have that tree removed, but in having the tree removed that fell, I guess he was counseled by the arborist or tree removers to cut them all down because they were dying anyhow. The trees were dying. You could see the leaves falling. Now, there's the clearing. Look at that slope. That slope is from the back to the front. The grade, as you see, it says grade to storm sewer. It goes easterly. You can't see any grade from my property going to his property. I mean, the photo is, you saw it, Mr. Case.
Yes.
Okay, so the photos are indicative, but you really have to go out to see it. Now, he comes in now without applying for a necessary required permit by the village, comes in and puts in fill that is now shown on now number 4. He dropped that fill in, leveled the grade, raised the grade. The water now has no time, no place, no ability to flow towards the storm sewer. He's actually aggravating the condition that he's complaining about by having done this. And this was done, like I said, if he had applied for the proper permit at the time, maybe the village could have alerted him of this condition here, because there is still a slope, a grade going down to the storm sewer. Now it is totally blocked. Let's go to now number 5, just another larger. The storm, you can see the beginning of the swale down into the storm sewer. There's the fire hydrant, there's the utility box, electric, and that all is flowing down. You can still see some pitch or grade going from a westerly to an easterly direction. So the complaint that he is making and the demand that he is making is that I bury my downspouts into my foundation drain tile. Now the village came out on the second complaint, and I understand that they're going to be making some recommendations. But I understand that those recommendations are going to entail some costs. Now I don't know if I'm going to be required to incur those costs, or he is, or the village is. But if he would remove that fill that he brought in, and that would solve the problem. Because the flow of water is still going to go, the direction of the grade is from westerly to easterly, and it's still going to go that way. You can see my wife's plants there. They are, now he complained that they had died, that the water that I was generating, or my stormwater was generating, killed those trees that you saw. Those are my wife's flowers there. Those are our trees. They're still alive. And they were in the same area and at the same grade that his trees are in. So, like I said, I know Public Works is conducting some studies, and they're going to come back with some recommendations to help alleviate this situation, but it's going to be a cost. I'm going to ask you to consider what I'm asking to do here. Just remove what he has not improperly filled there, and maybe cut a swale, a slight swale, into the right-of-way, and it'll cost no one. It won't cost anybody anything. Do you have any questions? I invite you to come out, please. You can only really get to it, see it, what's happening, if you come out and see it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Good evening. I'm Christine Murphy, and I live at 523 South Yale Avenue in Villa Park. I'm a 59-year resident of Villa Park and retired from AT&T, corporate Fortune 500 company. First and foremost, I'd like to congratulate David on your appointment. I'm hoping you do very well for the village. I really am not personally, I don't know you. However, I will suggest I did again have an application in for appointment to the village trustee position. And in all honesty, have no sour grapes for not having been selected. There's other things I have to do with my Monday nights. I do, however, have a problem with the fact that the village has taken it upon themselves to appoint someone that President Bolthus had on his ticket, and the residents of Villa Park chose not to select for the trustee position. I think that's not a good thing for the village. It's my understanding there were several people who had qualified applications in for this position and would have been good under consideration. I would also ask the board, as well as the president, why you bothered to ask the residents for applications when it's readily apparent from the November election information that there was already a plan to appoint this person into that trustee position. So while I'm not significantly disappointed that I didn't get chosen, I am significantly disappointed that we didn't choose an alternative candidate and feel that we have now brought Illinois politics into our village of Villa Park. And I find that very disappointing, and I would suggest that other residents of the village feel the same. However, David, again, I do not know you. I wish you the best, and I hope you will do well in representing the village of Villa Park. Thank you.
Anyone else from the public on a non-agenda item? Seeing none, we'll move down to the clerk's report.
Yes, I have an announcement to make. The Kiwanis summer concerts are starting it's every Wednesday in July. First one is on July 5th. This is the 40th year that Kiwanis is hosting these concerts. This is in conjunction with Parks and Recs Department. They do help in many ways to get this concert out. And it starts at 6 p.m., the concession stand, and 6:30, the actual concert start. And the first one is, like I say, July 5th, and the Willowbrook High School Band always performs in the first hour, and the second hour we have a special performance, a guest performer, and then, of course, the next 3 Wednesdays as well. So we welcome everyone to come out, all our residents, and enjoy the concerts. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustees report. Trustee L.
I'll give one comment. In reviewing the applications for trustee, Mrs. Murphy's was a phenomenal application. Her background and her information contained in her application was excellent. Far more extensive experience administering things than probably anybody on the board, other than maybe Alan, village manager. Although I guess you're not on the board, village manager. At the same time, Mr. Solella did actually run for the post and was the next in line of the people that did run. That was a difficult choice to make on, do you appoint someone or do you supporting someone who has run and attempted to go through the effort of pursuing a spot, or do you support someone who's at least equally or more well qualified, theoretically, who is applying but hadn't gone through the process of actually getting votes and no real knowledge of how the village would support her in its citizenry, because no one's actually voted on the other people that applied. For my part, I felt that it was more important that someone who had that process applied to them be appointed. And Mr. Solella also has an extensive background in working in village staffs in Addison that was helpful in my mind to be able to perceive from the board's perspective what staff tends to think when they present things to us, and that seemed useful to me as much as the things that Mrs. Murphy would have brought. So it was a difficult choice, but I think President Boltus made the right choice, and I don't know Mrs. Murphy personally, so to the extent that that could be a mistake, my apologies, and hopefully you'll run. I encourage you to run next time.
Not about me.
I understand that we run for elections, and I would be happy, I think, to support Mrs. Murphy in the future. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Tucker?
I just want to invite everybody to the 4th of July parade that the VFW is kicking off at noon. It's real important that the village takes parts of that. It's a celebration for all us in the village. The other thing I'd like to point out is that we do have a Sunday night car show that started 2 weeks ago on Father's Day. It happens from 4 to 8 o'clock at Sally Park every weekend, every Sunday through September 17th. Even if you do not have a antique car or a car in this village, please come out and see them and join us. We do have music, and we've had hot dogs sold for the public to buy. We enjoy people walking through and seeing the cars of people of the village, and we'd love to see the cars that are all hidden in the garages all over Villa Park. There's a lot of them, to have them bring them out.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Trustee Wagner?
Thank you, President Boltus. Just want to let folks in the public know that the planning process for the bike and pedestrian plan is underway. And on the village homepage, if you go there, there's a section there where you can click to take the survey for the bike and pedestrian plan, very important part of that process. And I think that page describes the whole process. I think there's some dates and maps you can access. And I'm afraid no one will be able to see this, but you can go to www.surveymonkey.com/r/VP walk plan. So we'd encourage people to take the survey and let us know their thoughts about how to improve bike and pedestrian traffic within the village. We made some appointments this evening. I just want to let members of the public know that two commissions that I'm liaison to, the Traffic and Safety Commission and the Environmental Concerns Commission, are both looking for commissioners. And as President Boltus has said, the application for those commissions is on the village website. And I just want to wish everyone a happy and safe 4th of July. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Trustee Case?
Back up what Trustee Aiello said, and
And I also like to thank staff tonight for coming in earlier and meeting with myself and trustee Gazone to hash out some issues. Thank you very much. That's it.
Trustee Kazone?
No report tonight.
Trustee Sayala?
Yes, first off, I'd like to thank the board for their consideration and appointment of the vacancy of trustee. I'll certainly do my best to bring forward some of my past experiences with other municipalities that I was employed with to better the village of Villa Park and keep it a great place to live. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we go President's Report. I just have a couple items tonight. I just want to remind everybody that on July 3rd, the Historical Museum is having a ice cream social at 7 o'clock. So I encourage you all to stop out and enjoy that. They have the ice cream. They have some entertainment. So it's a good time and help them meet their budgets. So, and I got another call today that the Villa Park Youth Baseball girls team, aged 11 to 13, finished first place in the playoffs that were in Franklin Park on Saturday, and I'd like to congratulate the girls for winning first place in that age group. So, and that's all I have, Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just have one item this evening. I promised Public Works that I would make an invitation to everyone for the Washington Street Green Infrastructure Improvements Public Information Meeting, which will be held here at Village Hall tomorrow at 5 p.m. And so please come and enjoy the meeting. I believe the residents from Washington will be in attendance learning more about their green infrastructure improvement program. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. With that, I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Trustee Ello, second.
Second.
Trustee Case, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And we're adjourned.